What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Have you been in my lives before?
I think a while back, yeah.
Well, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you back.
Appreciate it.
So, what brings you in today?
I really enjoy hearing other people give their insight about how they reconcile the problem of evil.
Yeah, the problem of evil. I heard this old lady speak once, and I really agree with her. You know what she said?
Nah,
Suffering is wanting what you don't have and not wanting what you already have.
I think I would object to that. I would disagree to that. Like, so, having cancer, like suffering from cancer, I don't see how that would apply to either of those situations.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But look, cancer is not wanting what you have, bro.
Yeah, no, neither is it like,
It's not like the individual wanted cancer, but once he has cancer, he doesn't want it and he wants what he doesn't have, and that is true suffering. The person that gets cancer and gets diagnosed with cancer doesn't wish cancer upon him, but
right.
once he's diagnosed with cancer, guess what? It's his reality,
Hmm.
meaning the statement still applies. You want what you don't have, and you don't want what you already have.
Oh, yeah, so like what you want is to be cured of cancer, right?
You want to be cured of
Yes.
cancer. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if that individual, like Steve Jobs, isn't able to fight cancer no matter how much money you have, well, that's true suffering.
Okay, I agree with you so far. Like that is what suffering is. That doesn't, I don't know how that addresses the problem of evil, though. Would you mind helping me out?
Well, the problem of evil exists because of man and his own fault. Adam is to blame. Now, it wasn't Adam that was deceived, but it was Adam's fault for the problem of suffering in the world.
Um,
Eve was deceived, but the consequences laid on Adam. Do you
well,
understand?
no, actually, like suffering existed long before humans showed up, right? Like for example, with the whole cancer situation, like there's dinosaur bones that have evidence of osteoporosis, or not osteoporosis. I'm sorry, like bone cancer. I can't remember what you call osteoscleroma. I think is bone cancer. So like, there's evidence of like dinosaurs having cancer long before humans showed up. So like, we know that suffering was a thing before
What makes
humans.
you what makes you think that dinosaurs existed long before humans?
Because we have evidence to suggest that.
Well, I mean, listen, when humans coexisted with dinosaurs
Oh.
in the distant past, for you to hypothesize that dinosaurs did not coexist with humans is quite fallacious.
I mean, well, like if you compare the radiocarbon dating of human bones versus dinosaur bones, like they're pretty different. Like the rate of decay of carbon inside of both, both examples, both fossils,
Well,
the rate of decay is very different. So that's how we know for a fact they didn't live at the same time period. If they
yes.
did, then they would show the same rate of decay.
Yes, and I agree with that. I
Okay.
completely agree with that. But, when it comes to the rate of decay and radiocarbon dating and isometric, I'm sorry, like,
Uranium lead dating.
huh?
Are you talking about uranium lead dating?
Yeah, like all the different types of datings,
Mhm.
radiocarbon dating, uranium dating, all those datings operate off of three assumptions. And in order for those datings to be true, those three assumptions must be true. But here's the really crazy thing about that. There's been recent scientific findings that point to the younger Dryas period that would indicate a global catastrophe. And when you've got a global catastrophe that would completely change the rate of decay of all of these items that are being dated by all of these systems, These systems all operate off of three assumptions, and one of those assumptions is that the rate of decay was held consistent all throughout time. And that is the biggest problem with carbon dating.
Are you suggesting that the rate of decay can be changed, can be altered?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a source for that one? I'm so sorry.
A global catastrophe.
Yeah, like, do you have like an article I can sort that, I can cite that from? Because I've never heard of it before.
You never heard of this argument?
I've never heard the argument that the decay of isotopes can be altered.
His name is Hitchcock. Hold on a second. Let me find his name.
Yeah.
Graham Hancock. If you look up Graham Hancock and the existence of ancient civilizations, I mean, just listen to the podcast of Joe Rogan.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking for like a peer-reviewed article. I'm sorry.
Well, Graham Hancock is a peer-reviewed scientist. Now, it's not that most of the other archaeologists actually agree with him because they quite ostracized Graham Hancock. But
yeah, I'm looking at his stuff. It's because he doesn't have much evidence to back up his claims, it looks like.
No, there's plenty of evidence to back up his claims. It's just that the archaeological world rejects the evidence. Just like the atheist.
We're not suggesting like it's
just like the atheist rejects the evidence for Jesus Christ.
It looks like somebody's just been picking scabs off the skin of the land, and that was these water flows rushing through it, filled with icebergs and whole forests ripped up by their roots. Naturally, it looks like torn up scabs.
And so it's your assertion that this all came out of the cataclysm, that this all came out of the impacts, comet impacts.
James Teller, a geologist, has dated these flows 12,800 to 12,900 years ago.
And how has he done that?
Radiocarbon dating primarily.
We're not suggesting that this is like some sort of global conspiracy in archaeology, are you?
What? No, I mean this is not a conspiracy. This is happening right before our eyes. Graham Hancock is being vilified by the archaeological community.
If it's happening right before our eyes, don't we feel like the entire world of archaeology, the entire field would be turned upside down at this point, and yet it still continues on the way it is?
Well, I mean the same reason why back in the 70s, the scientific community discovered that we share 98.8% in common with the chimpanzee, but yet, according to recent studies in the University of Queen Elizabeth or something like that, it's somewhere in the UK, they discovered that we actually only share 84.4% in common with chimpanzees. Yet, in the universities, we still teach our students and indoctrinate them with a lie that we actually share 98.8% in common with the chimpanzees.
Do you have a source for that one as well, Bo? I would like to look at that. Do you have a source for that one as well? I would love to look that up.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. The American Museum of Natural History says 98.8%. The National Institutes of Health say 95%. The Broad Institute, broadinstitute.org, again, 96%.
All right, so it's from Dr. Bugs. This is the quote, all right?
Well, I'm looking for the source itself.
All right, it's icr.org/article/human.
Lost all that. ICR, right? ICR.org?
ICR.org. Oh, this is actually a different source that I originally got this information from.
Article text.
So the original source is from actually a different website, but this is another source. It's an .org.
I see an article from like 2005. It's pretty incredibly outdated. I'm sure that...
No, this is from 2018. I'm going to read this to you. Just be quiet, all right? Let me just read it to you. Clearly...
That's fine. You don't have to say it like that, though.
I know. Just please, hush the mouth.
You can't say it like that, man. I was willing to listen to you out.
All right, bro, just hush the mouth, man. Let me just read it to you, because clearly you don't have the capacity to find what I searched for within 10 seconds. The science research paper published in conjunction with the 2018 chimp genome completely sidestepped the issue of chimp DNA similarity with humans. Nevertheless, University of London evolutionist Richard Buggs analyzed the results of a comprehensive comparison of a new chimp genome with the human genome and posted his shocking anti-evolutionary findings. He stated the percentage of nucleotides in the human genome that had one-to-one exact matches in the chimpanzee genome was 84.38%. What makes Dr. Buggs' analysis more amazing is the fact that my own published research using a different algorithm gave me the same results. In my study, I aligned 18,000 random pieces of high-quality chimp DNA, about 31,000 DNA letters long on average, onto human and several different versions of the chimp genome. Not only did my data show that the older version of the chimp genome that had been used to support evolution was deeply flawed and humanized, but my research also showed the aligned segments of chimp DNA onto the human genome were on average only 84.4% identical to human.
Yeah, a difference
The
of 15.
same level of similarity reported by Dr. Buggs. And if you know anything about the scientific method, if your studies and your findings cannot be duplicatable, well, it's trash. And the fact that this individual was able to corroborate with Dr. Buggs' original study, the reference that I originally cited, I found a corroborating source by Jeffrey P. Tompkins. And he also corroborates and was able to duplicate the data.
What journal is this from? What journal was this? Was the study published to?
The original study was done by
Right. What was it published to? The journal itself.
It was published by the hold on, let me find it. The University of London.
No, I'm looking for the journal. Like, what journal was this research published into?
I don't know what journal it was published in. It was published by the University of London by Richard Buggs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems a little shaky to me, and the difference of 15% doesn't mean a whole lot to me. And I don't know how this.
Hold up, time out. Cosmic.
Yeah.
Cosmic Pickle.
Yes. What's up?
Standard deviation of 1 to 2% that's doable. But a standard deviation of 16 percentage points, that's not significant. It's not significant enough to even acknowledge it as relevant data. So the fact that the scientists in the 70s proposed that we actually shared 98.8% in common with chimpanzees has been since debunked by the advancement of scientific research, was published by the University of London, and yet you want to invalidate science and the University of London, and you call yourself an atheist. Get the hell out of my live. I'm resetting the live, guys. This is ridiculous.